We are in the first quarter square. We're just finishing that out. This is what happens um, as we take a look at what came up during the new moon. And because it was an eclipse, it's likely that you've started to see some things show up before your eyes and had some new awarenesses because eclipses bring awareness. They bring light bulb moments. Um, I just became aware of a controversy in Hollywood around this AI actress called Tilly Norwood. And, it's sort of in the buzz. People are getting upset because this AI actress apparently is being considered for representation. And what it made me more and more aware of, I've been aware of this for a while, but we're looking at some really interesting times. We're looking at a split between people who are really easily programmed and who are willing to enter a programmed reality and participate in that. And part of doing that is um, sort of giving up your will of and your perception, giving up your will. I was going to say giving up your will of perception. And that's a really interesting concept because awareness, what you can become aware of, is the protection that you need to discern between what's fake and what's true. And the internet is such an interesting creation. There was a time where people didn't have the internet, and it's really about being able to create discernment when you're at close proximity to something that's coming at you. And it's also about creating a boundary and having sovereignty over your own perceptions. I personally can't believe, but I can believe. I mean, it's just this new horror show that there are AI actresses and now, directed by an AI director. And I'm thinking about the soullessness that is going to continue to emerge through our reality. And it really is up to us as human beings, embodied beings, who are not unlike a tree, not unlike anything else in nature, to discern through the apparatus of the body and all of the perceptions that come with your energy centers and the ability to filter this false it's fake, this sort of it's like that. What was the name of that game years ago? Second Life or something like that. um Like, do you really want to be in a video game directed? I mean, it's so crazy to me. Um, Years ago, there was a book, and I've talked about this before. It's called Four Arguments for the Elimination of Television. It's by Jerry Mander. And he was an advertising executive in San Francisco in the 80s or something. Um, And he tells a story about how he wanted to go over the Golden Gate Bridge to Marin County, where it's forested and beautiful. And he wanted to take his two young sons with him to enjoy nature and the splendor of the world, the natural world. And his kids were bored. They wanted their whatever kids played with back then. They wanted their, electronics. And so he really went into this like epiphany about how advertising works on us and through television in particular And I think if he's still here, he would be horrified to know that now we have mini TVs that we use um, to, inundate ourselves 24/7. And what he said is that the technology of television is that you create in your eye, you arrange the picture so it happens in your brain. So it has that much more impact on you. And you also go into a sedated state when you're looking at technology very passively, and you get very relaxed. So it goes even further in, and it also creates a feeling of both suppressed energy or depression and hostility as you are watching the technology. And it's just you cease to think for yourself. And so I guess uh, this Tilly Norwood thing, I mean, first, the industry is always looking at a threat. What is the new threat coming in? And this is something that they will be able to sell to some people. Some people are already wanting that kind of canned fake reality and to be sort of dissociated out of their bodies. So I am curious, how does this land for you? Are you able to discern when something is fake, when it's phony? We have a lot of challenges with this right now. We have it, chemicals in the food, and now it's just in the information sector and the place where, our minds are kind of controlled by the visions that are given to us and the impressions that we get. And what we do have is we have this amazing apparatus which is our energy sensing ability through our bodies. And we are able to discern how something really feels. And the real question is, are you able to choose what feels real to you rather than this thing that's been imposed? I think that we've spent so much time with things that don't feel good to us and just taking them on and saying, oh, that's okay. That will be my reality. And I think that that is the deprogramming aspect that we are working on right now. We are working on having that inner clarity through the body, asking how your body feels when you encounter things that are not for you. And that whole, the feeling in the stomach, the lump in the throat, the feeling of ick, the feeling that something doesn't feel quite right, those are all signals that you can use to discern. And the other piece I think is really important about this is just getting out of an anesthetized state. And this is harder and harder with our smartphones. It's just so easy to get so focused on this tool, something that should be a tool and something that is entertainment that takes us away from our own ability to, work on our visions. So this was what was on my mind today. I think it's really about grounding every day, getting grounded in the body and being able to see and actually kind of make a choice about where you want your energy to go. Do you want your energy to go into this sort of artificial information machine that is being created in our world? Or do you want to create a vision that's yours? And I mean, you can do this every day just by doing something creative. That is enough to remind you that you're here to create. You're here to create in the world. And some of the creations that are coming out, such as these an AI actress, et cetera, you can choose whether that's something you really want to take part in. Um, Let me know how you feel about this and what's coming up for you as a result of the eclipse. I don't know why this came up for me, but I remember Jerry Mander's book. I have thought about it and talked about it through the years, and uh, I just think our inner lie detector has to become more and more honed now with the advent of all of this AI stuff. It's not very soulful. And it's just something to really be aware of as we keep moving forward. More on this later. I've got to unpack this more later. Thanks for watching.